I'm like mid-chew.
Here we go. Welcome back to another fishing, not catching
Podcast.
Yes.
And I'm pretty certain we got a new somebody that's never listened to our podcast before because we played the music and he looked at us like we were crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you ever listened to a podcast?
He's never listened.
I have actually.
Oh,
you
yeah.
did?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's great background noise when I'm working.
Most people.
So you don't listen, you just play it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't either. This is a bunch of BS. Most of the people that we've had as guests on here have not listened to our podcast, which I don't blame them.
Well, we did one with Sean Lawless, and we got down to South Florida, and we're like, hey, man, we're going to shoot a podcast. You want to be on our podcast? He said, y'all have a podcast?
Yeah, right. That was pretty early on.
It was.
That was like episode 4 or 5.
But that was funny.
Pretty early on in the
No,
mix.
I can break the ice. I've listened to the podcast.
Well, good. So
Thanks, man.
Maybe
We
you have
appreciate it.
somewhat of a clue of what's to come in this crap show of a podcast. We do not make any claims that this is good. We do claim to be the worst fishing podcast.
Oh, then I'm like your best guest.
All right, sweet.
Awesome.
Well, we got Matt Poole with us today.
Yes.
If you're listening and not watching, this is Matt Poole.
Mr. Ninja Tackle.
Ninja Tactical.
Tactical.
I like
Do you
that.
like being tickled?
Yes. No.
Do you? Is that a thing for you?
No, absolutely not.
Does that get you going?
No.
No. What is your thing?
What is the audience for this? Like, how far does this go?
like what the heck are we talking about right
I
now?
see where this road is going.
This is pretty much how we roll. With
We call
all
it a
of them.
fishing podcast.
But
Fishing's definitely like the smallest portion that we talk about
Well,
on
and
this
that's
podcast.
and you know there's some subjectivity to that. I mean, you could be fishing for anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw that.
Right now
Fishing
we're
for a tickle.
Yeah. Now we're fishing for what gets Matt turned on.
We're fishing.
Okay, all right.
Guns.
We'll keep it clean.
Guns.
Guns.
Guns do us.
Yeah,
for this
all
tonight.
right. We do need to talk about guns at some point in this podcast. Your training for that, we'll get to that. And
Not me, you, I guess.
I'm
not training for anything.
oh no, you're training. Well, you've
Well,
trained.
yes.
And your daughter.
Training. Always training. Always.
You know, which is a big deal. And we'll talk about stuff,
Whatever comes up.
whatever comes up. Yeah, we fished a lot together, me and you. Some
Absolutely.
trips, and we can talk about some trips that we've had. But let's just start here. Let's start with how Matt entered our lives. Matt, how did you enter our life? Why are you sitting at this table today?
You know, so it's funny. I actually tell this story. I get this question quite often. It's like, you know, how did you guys,
Just make sure you're kind of close to the mic there.
how did you get caught up with Bama? Really, during the conception of Ninja Tackle, my mentor, he had told me that getting into the building of the rods he called me an idiot. And I was like, okay, all right. That's one of those.
I don't deny that, but
Yeah,
you know,
he knows me well.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, why do you want to get into a market that's got so many players inside of it? And I was like, well, for me, if you tell me I'm an idiot or you tell me don't stick my hand in the light socket, it's like, here, hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I later came to find out that was a huge, huge challenge that he knew he was giving to me. And he knew I was going to go and do it. So I spent months and months and months researching and just diving down the rabbit hole of how are fishing rods made. So I came up with a formula for our rods, and I don't live anywhere near the water like you do.
yeah.
So for me to be able to test the product, I just didn't have the access to do it. So I found you on YouTube. Actually, started watching
on the
it.
tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find me, by the way? You remember? You were like just searching surf fishing or
Yeah,
like what?
just searched surf fishing.
Yeah.
And then you popped up. I think you had roughly just a hair over, I think, 5,000 subscribers when I first sent you the first message.
All right.
And it was more of a, hey, you don't know me, I don't really know you, but you seem to be out there humping it every day, twice a day at times.
Yeah, I was guiding in that time frame.
Yeah, and honestly, I needed somebody that I wanted to find out if I could trust you to really just beat my product up and tell me what I had.
I'm good at that.
And
Did you like do a lot of fishing at the time, or what made you choose rods? Like, why rods?
so we started
Opposed
with
to, like, anything, or even the fishing industry in general.
He
like,
really likes things that are long and stiff.
long and stiff,
You like cold
and
rods?
flexible.
Yeah, whippy.
flexible.
Whippy.
Yeah, helicoptery.
Helicopter-y. But no,
Yes.
As they say, most good ideas start over a case of beer.
Yeah,
So Ninja Tackle actually started over a case of beer one day at a fishing tournament. So been fishing my entire life. Loved it, and we just kind of the original conception of Ninja Tackle was just supposed to be make a few rigs, sell them to a couple tackle stores, and all we were originally after was seeing if we could pay for gas money and tournament registrations.
Right. Yeah.
And then, one thing just kind of turned into the next, and then getting into the rods just seems like the next part of the progression of we're making rigs, we're doing this, we're doing that. Round off the product line and develop fishing rods. And I love stuff that's a challenge, and designing fishing rods and understanding the concept behind them. That's a rabbit hole that doesn't end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
Me
it.
neither. Like I can give you I'm just not a gear junkie.
Yeah,
I never
me either.
have been. So like the specifics and details of really anything, whether it be a reel, rod, lure, whatever. Like I don't know. I can tell you, yeah, I like it or no, I don't. But that's about the extent of my expertise.
Yeah, and I mean, everything for me was the more I progressed into fishing, and I always started off with the Walmart rod reel combos. Caught plenty of fish with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong.
My first surf rod was something tough, Coastal Tough, which was in Walmart. I don't even know if it exists anymore, but I think it was like a Walmart brand. It was a white rod. It was 8 foot, Coastal Tough. I think I may even still have the thing.
I don't know, it might have been an Eagle Claw because
Is that who made that?
it might have been because
I don't
think that was actually my first one was from Walmart rod reel. I think $35.
Mom, I think it was 20. I think the one I got. I mean, they might have had different lengths, but it might have been 20 or $30. I can't remember.
I mean, 12-foot rod can't even hold a half an ounce, but I don't know what I'm doing. And it's I was just out there to enjoy the scenery and have fun. So, but like I said, further I dug down into that rabbit hole, and I started finding out there was just endless amounts of challenges to come up with all this stuff. I was like, you know what? I wonder if I can figure out a way to work backwards and design something that I can put in the hands of the average fisherman who has an average budget.
Yeah.
Something that's not going to break their bank, but is going to give them the competitive edge.
Right.
So
you sent me the 11-foot dagger.
yeah.
That was the first rod.
How long did it take him to go to his P.O. box and get it?
Probably at that time, I was probably a little more Johnny on the spot. I didn't have nearly as much going on. Man, my life was so different back in that day. Like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
5 years ago?
4 or 5 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I was guiding, which I was busy doing that. But I mean, most days I would run 2 trips. Like in the summertime, I'd be running 2 trips. But depending on the time of year, what I had booked that day, I mean, I may run 1 trip that morning, and then I'd be home and like twiddle my thumbs the rest of the day.
Like, what's there to do?
I know. Like that's it. I'd edit, and I'd be like ahead of schedule on edits. I would be posting videos like smooth sailing. I had nothing going on.
Slightly different than now.
Very much so. Like it's just crazy the difference in my life now. I literally we've designed another rod, which I don't even know if we've really mentioned it much, but you've got them on order, right?
Oh yeah.
Little Bummies?
Let's talk about it.
So we can talk about them, and this is like these are our people. We can talk.
Yeah.
We talk about whatever.
Nobody really listens to it anyway.
That's right. They don't really pay attention. So we can talk about whatever. So we've designed another rod, the Little Bummy, because something that's really important.
It's a very fitting name for
I know. Well, he's come up with some great names. And the Little Bummy.
Little Bummy.
Little Bummy, that's my rap name, It's a steelhead rod that we've designed. And how long is it?
9.6.
9.6? Perfect. Yeah, I actually touched it for the first time yesterday.
And when did you mail them to him?
I was going to say, back to referencing Brad's point, there's about 3 of them sitting in a tube
Somewhere.
from about 6 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, longer.
I did give Matt the specifications of what I wanted, and then he just took it and ran. And he was asking for specifics on the design of this one, and I'm like, Matt, I trust you. Just go with it.
Yeah.
I don't even know all that, so whatever. Because he wanted me to test it out, and I didn't get a chance to. But I did yesterday. It's phenomenal. It's perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Nailed it. But those are going to be coming out, which is really cool because I use a lot of steelhead rods in my surf fishing because we talk about that a lot. Most of the fish that we target in the surf aren't that big.
Right.
If we're being honest, like pompano, whiting, redfish, whatever. Like most of that stuff is 5 pounds or less. And so, in the whiting, they're, less than a pound, like all of them. So, you don't need big heavy tackle if you can avoid it. And where we fish, a lot of the time, and I'm going to get on this too. I'm going to get on a soapbox here in a second.
Let's do it.
Where we fish specifically, you don't have to use, most days, you don't have to use heavy weights. Like even yesterday, wind started kicking up. I mean, there's a little bit of surf, a little bit of current, but like fishing close, we were able to use a 1 ounce fine. And it wasn't rough, of course, but like it was fine. But we get a lot of days that are even like way calmer than that.
Oh, yeah.
But people on the East Coast talk about it all the time, like, dude, we can't do that. Like literally every time I've ever fished the East Coast, whether it be in Florida or up in North Carolina, which I've only been there one week, which I know, but like
Bad example.
Literally, but that's what I'm saying. Every time I go, I'm like, dude, I could totally be using a steelhead rod with 1 ounce right now. And you did it in a tournament here recently.
I did it. I actually fished a little bummy in October for a tournament, and I was able to hold with 2 ounces on it, throwing in up close. Honestly, dude, I had the best time of my life fishing with that rod.
Well, and it forces you to fish close because you know you're not going to cast that as far and all that stuff. So like, you're fishing close, which is important a lot of the time when you're surf fishing because people overlook that water. Anyway, point is like you don't have to always have heavy stuff unless it's conditions. You know, you have to have you got rough surf or current or whatever, and you got to throw heavy, 5, 6, 7, 8 ounce leads. Yeah, you're gonna have heavier tackle. But most days you can get by with light tackle, which is just a lot of fun. So that's how I fish a lot. And there's not a lot of accessibility to steelhead rods, especially. And there's not a steelhead rod that is marketed for saltwater, period.
Nope.
Like this is going to be it. And we keep calling it a steelhead rod, but we should kind of like.
It's mirrored after our steelhead. So
right.
I mean,
we should call it something else. I don't know. What do you call let's decide right now.
Pump rod.
Whiting rod.
I mean,
it's a mullet rod.
A mullet rod?
Yeah. Sea mullet. Whiting.
You,
Not a hairdo rod.
You Yankees up there. The dang colloquials. How do you say that?
What?
When you when
It's a new word.
Colloquial.
Never
I
heard
can't.
that one.
Well, I'm not saying it correctly because I'm kind of
Colloquial.
Yeah, like you know, that's like what you call things regionally. That's the word for it. So people call things different. Whatever. Sea mullet.
How'd you get so smart?
I'm not. I can't even say the word. Clearly,
He's always using big words.
I know he does. You ever get his text messages? And I'm like, dude, slow it down and dumb it up for me a little bit.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, penis. It's a 5-letter word. That's a tough one.
Oh man.
I mean, we can't abbreviate that one to something less appropriate, but I do use the technical terms.
Give you a little spike
Tiger
to
Woods.
find it.
Speaking of what I just said that I may have cut out, Tiger Woods just got in some trouble because of his sexist stuff.
Really?
That he's.
I haven't heard what he said. No.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, I think it's funny, and people just need to quit being so dang offended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
So
Amen.
all right. So I don't know what tournament it was. I don't even know what was going on, but it was him and whoever he was playing against. I don't know, because I don't really keep up with golf. But I've just seen this stuff on Facebook. He outdrove this guy or whatever. So like as they're walking to their ball, he walked.
He handed him a tampon.
Yeah.
Justin Thomas. Yeah. I saw that.
I was like,
People are offended by that?
yes, he had to like issue an apology.
Really?
I mean,
I saw that he did that, but I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, and the part that bothers me probably about that is that Justin Thomas probably thought it was just as funny.
Yeah, he did.
actually, he was not
I mean, it's
offended.
He took it and threw it on the ground.
The only person you should even be worried about offending at that moment in time would be the receiver of the tampon.
Right.
Everyone else, if you don't
But-
like it, don't watch it.
Well, I mean, you got. I'm sure there's women that are offended that he's insinuating that he's a woman and weaker and all that. Which we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I've learned some lessons working out with other women. That like
You've
like,
been proven that you're a weak little woman.
Yes. No, well, I mean, I'm just weak. It's just crazy. Like, so that's something I don't know if I've talked about this with you, Matt. But CrossFit, I've never worked out with other women in my life. I've gone to gyms and stuff, but I've been working out with a buddy or whatever. I'm not really paying attention. I don't ever pay attention to what people do. But with CrossFit, you're kind of doing stuff together, so you kind of know where people are at. And also you have like leaderboards, so people post like what they're doing and all this. So we have, of course, women, men, all this. And the women are incredibly strong, like mind-blowingly strong. It just, I'm so impressed. And it's not like these women look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not like these unnatural looking women. Like you'd see, like, oh yes, they look very feminine, like whatever, but they're still just incredibly strong. Like it just blows my mind, like how much weight they can move, and it's just impressive. So I've learned that women are incredibly strong.
They are. I mean, dude, I can give you my daughter being a perfect example. I mean, she's we did a shooting competition last year, and it was extremely physical. It was called Patriot Games, and we're all decked out. We've got rifles wrapped around us. We've got full kit vests, weighted out, and all this good stuff. And we're running around and we're lifting extremely heavy weights. At the time, I think my daughter maybe weighed 115, 120 pounds, and they're asking her to deadlift, I want to say 145, 155 pounds.
Yeah.
While wearing all of this stuff.
That's insane. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've got pictures of it, and I'll show you guys later. It's the sheer grit that she showed to do it was incredible, but her drive to be able to want to get better has led her to where she's at now. So, talking about with how women are just completely resilient and can be strong. She is now, I think she's been working out with a private trainer for 4 months, 3 times a week. She went from couldn't do a pull-up to now she can do several unassisted.
Yeah, I bet.
Deadlift, she came home 2 weeks ago, and she was extremely excited that she was able to lift 135 pounds multiple times.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
That's not easy.
huge.
It's not easy.
No, she's
That's
lifting
impressive.
more than her body weight. And, I mean, it's not even just that. It's the fact that she's able to lift it and carry it to a distance. So, I mean, she's done it in a very short period of time.
And I don't know if this is offensive or not, the way that I'm presenting this, but I mean it as a compliment. I just didn't know. The assumption is like, and in general, like if you take men and women's sports, like watch basketball, for example. I mean, men are in general gonna be.
Careful what you say.
Well, they're gonna be bigger. I mean, there's big
Yeah.
like okay, you take professional men's basketball, professional women's basketball, put them side by side, like. The men are like they're gonna weigh more, they're bigger,
Right.
they're stronger. They train the same. So like you watching it on TV, like athletic people, but then when you scale that down to just like
Everyday person.
every day, like
Right.
okay, women are freaking strong. They're pretty much just as strong as us. Like you know what I mean? Unless you're an elite athlete on that level, it's just a different thing. And even in CrossFit, like in the competitions, in the games, the people that compete, they have like. The women's, some things are the same, like you have to do the same, but like they have the RX, which is the prescribed, they have the men's and the women's. So like the men's is heavier than the women's,
Right,
and,
right.
you know what they have to do because, somebody that trains to that level, a men generally will be able to lift more or whatever, whatever. But like day-to-day stuff, like any woman, like this, some random woman can walk behind us and probably beat the crap out of us. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Hey, look, I'm telling you, these competitions I've been to, I've seen several women that they outperformed me.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, they made it look easy. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
You need to bring your daughter with you for the grand opening to be like our security.
seriously, dude.
She might do it.
Yeah, so Matt's daughter is like hardcore trains in like what do you call that? Like
It's more tactical based shooting, more real life situation type training that we do. She does more of she really likes teaching other kids her age proper gun safety, proper gun use.
Right.
She also likes working with all women's classes for doing concealed carry permits. And she started doing this at 14. So even at
That's impressive.
15, late 15 years old, she was already helping co-teach all women's classes. She's already had her certification. She's not allowed to have it. She can't carry. But that doesn't mean that she can't retain the knowledge and then pass the knowledge on to other people. So she really likes, she loves it. She's really good at it. And she likes being able to pass the knowledge on to working with other people. So I've got videos of her working with friends her age. And then I've had other parents come up to us and say, hey, your daughter, that's really impressive. Is there something that we can do where maybe she can work with my son or my daughter and teaching them how to do these things?
that's important.
Because, I mean, your worst teacher is going to be your spouse or your parent,
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
quite honestly. So I'm sure you can tell something to your kids and they're like, Dad, you suck.
Yeah.
But if Matt says it, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They don't listen to a whole lot when it comes from their parent.
No.
It's part of it. Part of kids.
I feel like that's something that people training like that tactically and all that. I think more people should do that and be prepared. There's so many situations out there where, unfortunately, people find themselves in that situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Just be good to be prepared.
I mean, you'll never know when you're going to be in any kind of situation. I mean, your rule of thumb is always, if there's a way out, you just get out.
Yeah.
You grab your kids, you grab your spouse, and your responsibility is you, your family, and an exit. That's really what you should be looking for. But in the event that's not an option, I mean, then that's where we train, and that's where we learn how to protect ourselves, protect our families, and survive to live another day.
Yeah.
The cool part about it is it's a tangible asset. It's something that you can always carry with you.
Right.
It's something that when she gets older, that she'll be more prepared as a mother, a parent. It's just something that, and it keeps her physically active.
Yeah,
that's
all those things are positive, and overlooked how much it helps you mentally and in other phases of life. Anything that's challenging or hard, that you have to put yourself through.
Because there's no situation that's
I'm
ever
pro
going to
that.
Yeah,
Pro hard.
Pro hard.
Pro hard. Here we go.
Oh snap!
Yeah, that didn't take long to come back around.
Sex, guns, all the things, alcohol. What else? What else? We got to cover.
That's all we need
all the
is
stuff.
American men.
That's right. And it's hot in here.
It is hot.
It's like a hot box.
Oh,
It is. It's getting a
there's the
little
thing
warm.
right there.
Oh yeah.
Go hit that thermostat.
We're gonna touch that.
See if we can get.
Touch the
Sorry,
button.
sorry, Chris.
That's all right. I don't think. I mean, I don't think he pays. It's probably like just included in their rent. Heat. No wonder it's so hot.
There we go.
I already sweat a lot as is. I don't need the heat on to make it worse. I probably got some pit stains rocking
I
right
was
now.
going to say, I just took a shower. I'm going to need another one.
It just
So, yeah. That feels
Fresh air.
fabulous.
yeah. It was set on 69.
Yes.
I did
it. But it's reading 75, but it's because it was on heat. It wasn't on cool. So it wasn't even, I was trying to change it because I was going to bump it up because I was like, 75. It just needs to come on for a minute, but I can't even change it. So
Oh well.
they have it locked at 69. So that's what
Somebody likes that.
they
number.
wanted it to be that temperature.
That probably was Chris.
Yeah. We talked around the world on that one, but you sent me a ride.
I forgot even how that got started.
Back to the story.
Yeah, that's how Matt. So that's how Matt got in our life right there. All that we just talked about. But you sent me that ride, and I had used obviously a lot of different things at that point, mostly cheap stuff. Your ride at the time was probably, that was pretty early on. When I first started guiding, I was still using like a lot of H2O Express stuff.
Yeah, you were still using a lot of lighter stuff. It was a heavy rod for what you were using, but I mean, it was for me. It was for something where I'm looking at you, and I don't know you from a hole in the wall, and I'm like, hey, look, here's a guy. Maybe
here's
I
a
can,
guy.
Yeah, like here's a guy. Maybe I can connect with him, and I sent you a message, and I think a little time later, you responded back to me, and I'm like, man, there's no way this guy's gonna give me his address. I mean, people just don't do that anymore.
Well, fortunately, I have a UPS store box address.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
For this very thing, and fans, which I give out.
yeah, but I mean, like I said, I sent it to you, and I'm like, if he uses it, he uses it. And I didn't ask him for anything else. It's just like, hey, look it over, check it out. If you like it, use it. I didn't even say you have to talk about it or anything. It was more or less,
Right. Careful, easy killer.
I would scratch my face and knock the thing over.
well, you shouldn't have the round thing so close to your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Easy.
makes it sound so
You do
good.
need to sniff
Yeah.
it. Sniff it. Give it a sniff.
Who used this last?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have been any of us.
Probably me when I had COVID.
It smells like chocolate.
Does it?
Is that you eating
This
chocolate?
is chocolate. It's a protein bar.
The
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
the newness is still there a little bit, but it's died down some. It used to smell like a new car.
I could probably order new foam for you.
Can we?
We'll replace it
we
every
need that.
episode.
Yeah.
That's when you're bougie. You get a new foam piece. So you
Because
can
you-
smell it on every
yeah,
episode.
we need it when we get it in our new podcast.
Like, hey, Freddie, come replace this.
That's Freddie's job.
But yeah, I just wanted you to just test it out.
And that's anybody that's ever reached out to me, any company or whatever, like that's the ones that I responded to. That was like, hey, we don't have any expectations. We just want to send you this, try it out. You don't have to, we don't really care. Like that's the ones I'm like, okay, yeah, deal. Like if you ask me to do anything, it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like no, yeah, especially if I don't even know who you are. It's like, no, I'm not going to commit to anything. Send it to me, But
Yeah, no, I mean, and dude, that honestly, that's what kickstarted everything, and one thing led to the next, and
Now you got a big bummy and a little bummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool, the journey. And I still have that very rod. And for a while, you got onto me because I rubbed off the... What is that? Like the shrink wrap?
Shrink wrap. It's the grip on the rod.
Because taking it in and out of the rod holder, and for the longest time I didn't have the rubber. What are those things called? Like
Just rubber caps. I mean, anything that was protective. You were on a hard edge for a PVC pipe.
Yeah,
so it was pretty sharp.
Yeah, so it just kept scratching it, and eventually it just tore it up, and it looked really bad. So I just put duct tape on there, really because I noticed also that since the shrink wrap had been rubbed off, that on the
Blank.
on the actual rod blank, it had started to like wear down because the way that I put the rod, which I shouldn't do that, but I just do. I put the rod holders where I don't put it all the way in, so it's like touching that spot. So I put the duct tape there to protect it, and Matt's
You
like,
just put duct tape on the rod holder.
well, I tried that, but it never would really actually stay, and it didn't really give enough padding. I did try that route, but it didn't work, Brad.
So you decided to duct tape
It's
his
a
rod.
terrible idea.
Look, the duct tape wasn't the bad part. It was silver duct tape, and even the duct tape was falling apart.
You're like, can you make my rod look any worse? You're the one that destroyed it.
yeah.
I was like, could you at least just change it to black duct tape? I mean, at least if it's black, it's okay.
Blend in. But you sent me some shrink wrap, and I left the duct tape on there for the added protection since I'd already jacked it up a little bit and just put the shrink wrap over it, melted it down or whatever, and it's been rocking and rolling ever since. And I use the protective caps on all of my stuff, and that's the difference. Like if you have a
rubber
sharp
cap,
edge, like it doesn't matter what you get, because I've done that to star rod. It doesn't matter. Like anything's gonna tear up if you're taking it in and out like that. But that fixed the problem. Looks great. Still have the same rod. Still has the duct tape on it, but you just can't see it anymore because it's covered up.
Perfect.
But rocking it and rolling. I love that
Heck
rod.
yeah.
Those daggers, those 11-foot daggers, man, you can't beat them. It's like the perfect rod for me.
Yeah,
for
I like
set
it
rig
too.
fishing.
No,
Good.
I
You
appreciate
launch
it. I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping for is just something that, fishing rods are like tennis shoes. There's no one rod that can do everything. You don't wear muck boots when you want to go run a marathon.
Right.
So, but trying to find gaps in there where you can get one rod that maybe can do two functions pretty good, then it feels like you're just kind of adding to the bag. Less gear you have to take out, and you can cover more ground with less gear.
Yeah.
So,
We did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. So, but I mean, you guys doing what you're doing, especially with you kind of helping put us out there on the map. I mean, it led from one rod to the next, and just keep finding holes, keep finding gaps. What are the needs? Can we fill it? And then how can we do it better than the next guy in the price range that I want to play with?
Well, and you've kind of settled into the surf fishing niche. I mean, you have other rods too, but surf fishing is kind of where you kind of live, and that's really that game has changed a lot over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up freshwater fishing. I remember my first rod and reel was a Snoopy push button
Heck
rod
yeah.
and reel. I still remember it to this day. My grandfather, his first one to take me, he goes, "There's no way you remember that rod." I said, "Not only do I remember that, but I also remember you weren't like flying into the water because a fish took my rod in the water and you went in the water after it." And I was like, I even remember crying for hours afterwards because I was scared. But I mean, growing up freshwater fishing, it's
No, Grandpa.
I was crying too hard to even talk. It was just pure tears. Is he coming back? Is he coming back? Where'd he go?
Sorry,
But
just traumatized Matt here.
no, bringing up good memories. But so I mean, freshwater fishing, and fast forward to the fact that my wife and my daughter are not big fishermen, and that's okay.
Well, they're not men. Fish are women.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right. Good save.
Yeah.
Good save.
I didn't know where we were about to go with that one.
Yeah, clearly, they're not fishermen.
No, so fishing is not in their daily activities and things that they like to do. So I mean, but they both love the beach. So not having really fished the beach before, my dad got me into it once, They love the beach. I can fish on the beach. So
Yeah.
even though they may not be fishing with me, it's something that we can all still do together.
Correct.
Yeah. That definitely helps.
No, so yeah, I mean, then it's like, all right, well, fine. Maybe freshwater's not where I'm supposed to be. Maybe saltwater's where I can be, and that's where I can spend time with my family, do what I like to do. Double dip, spend time with them, and fish at the same time. To me, I don't know how else you can win.
Yeah.
Any better.
Win-win right there for
Yeah.
sure.
So, and then that just kind of led to all right, well, this rod and reel, it's good, it's cool, but it sucks. How can we do something better?
Right. Nah, I dig that. And you do some conventional stuff too. You got the K series, which we don't do a ton of conventional fishing down here. Really, you can walk the beach, you ain't got to see anybody using conventional gear here.
Yeah, I only know like
period.
a handful of people that do it.
Yeah.
And even then, they don't do it.
They just do
a
it to
whole
try to
lot,
look
but-
cool. But,
Yeah.
you have to, if you go to the East Coast, it's like all conventional.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's
I don't
quite a
even know if I
few-
could cast it.
Well,
wanna learn?
I've thrown his.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hard.
I'll make a fun video. Just bird nest the crap out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I threw yours a couple times.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. I mean, I can't throw it far. I don't have like the technique, whatever. But
I mean, I guess if you know what you're doing, you're supposed to be able to throw it further than a
Yeah.
spinning. rod.
Supposed to
Right.
be, yeah. I was gonna say, theoretically is exactly the right word. But I can tell you, with all the gear that I have, if you put the spinning rod up against a conventional reel, or a spinning reel up against a conventional for the gear that I carry, I can actually throw it considerably further than with a spinning rod.
the conventional.
Yeah, I can throw the conventional. I mean, think about the
Yeah, I mean,
guys
there's
that
just
do-
like no resistance. A conventional is just going
Correct.
straight off. A spinning reel is hitting
It-
spool
yep,
and
yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Swirling it.
reason why long distance cast competitors, long
Yes.
cast competitors, there's a reason they use those conventional reels and not
What's
spinning.
the world record for longest cast?
I do not know. Further than I
Let's
can
look
cast.
it up.
Google.
Let's see if
Further than I can cast.
let's see if that's on here. How
It's gotta be.
world record
World record casting distance.
record
gotta be on
casting.
there.
long cast.
It's probably going to be really long.
Let's see.
300 yards.
For informational purposes, the world record casting distance is 939 feet or 313 yards.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
That's a long freaking ways.
I mean, think three
That's
football
three
fields.
football fields, yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Your average fisherman
Yes.
can't even cast one football field.
I mean,
Right,
you
I
think
know
to
it.
the other side of that canal, you think that's 300 yards, or you think that's less or
I
more?
think that might be less.
It'd be close.
I'm gonna gu-
250.
I'm gonna guess from like here to the last boat here on that line. So that's probably 100 yards, don't you think?
I can tell you exactly how far it is.
Oh, you're gonna, we're gonna measure it. We're getting a. We're
Let's
getting
now we're
see.
getting technical.
Google Earth.
All right, Google Earth. It never lies.
And then we're going to go try to do it.
because my guess because it's really hard to judge
I
distance.
don't have anything to
Yeah,
get
I'm
Like-
terrible at judging
well,
distance.
and especially when you have no point of reference. Like when you're fishing
Yeah.
the beach and you're just casting out, it's extremely hard to
Oh,
know
yeah.
because
just
there's
water
yes,
and sky.
there's no like post or something to
Right.
like kind of reference yourself. But I would guess like if I gave it my best cast, man, I don't think I could reach that.
Good gracious. It's further than where we sit.
Really, like so further than
That's 790 feet.
How many feet was it?
790.
939. So another 200 feet.
That's what I was saying. I was about right. Yeah, that's about
so
250.
on the other
Yeah.
side of those trees.
It's 24,000 centimeters.
That's insane.
That's a lot of centimeters.
How did somebody throw that far, man?
That is.
I wonder how heavy-
Okay, so from where we're sitting to that bank would be right at 300 yards. Like, I mean, from this room,
Yeah.
it would still be on the other side of the bank.
260, 264.
Like I'm thinking my guess, like if I'm throwing, I'm maybe hitting that platform with my best cast.
You
Maybe.
can cast over that.
No.
I don't know. That's a
How
long
far
ways.
is that? How far is that?
That's a long
end of
ways.
that dock right there from here.
All right, I was gonna say I watched you cast yesterday, and you were fine.
Yeah, but
That's 110. That's 100 yards from here.
Yeah, you can cast over that.
okay.
110
Because
yards.
my guess, I'm probably sitting like 120.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
That's a good cast for
And
regular.
now double it.
But that's I know, but that's
Triple
what,
it.
Yeah, I know.
Or yeah, triple. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was conventional gear.
We could definitely
There's no
catch
way
some
spinning
bonita
it.
with that cast.
Seriously, but I
Why
mean,
kayak if you can cast that far?
yeah. But you can there's only certain things you can throw
Yeah.
like that. I mean, you have to
Think
have,
about that guy that was throwing when we were in Cape Cod. He was throwing almost all the way across the other side. The guy that caught the really big striper.
that's true. He was throwing spinning gear.
He was throwing,
and he was
spinning
throwing a
gear.
popper.
He
I mean, it
was.
was weighted right and everything, but no, dude, he was launching it.
I couldn't get anywhere close to where he
No,
was casting.
Me neither.
And that dude, honestly, I don't know what he was using, but I didn't see anybody get as far out there as he was getting because he was almost at the pilings at the other side of the canal.
Do you know what rod he was using? Did you pay attention to that?
I asked him and I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure it's some custom something.
It was custom.
Yeah.
15 foot.
I don't remember how long it was.
It was long. It was
Yeah.
probably 12 or 13 foot.
Yeah.
And I know it was like a broomstick.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was slinging it, but he was using a popper. Wasn't he using a popper?
Yeah, it was top
I
water.
thought it was a popper.
It was. But it was,
That was the guy. He caught the biggest one that day, right?
yep,
What was
biggest
it?
one I saw.
I said his name in the video. I can't remember what his name was because I filmed that. Anyway, we were Cape Cod fishing. Dude, that was insane. That trip.
I'm going to go.
We need to go.
Look, I can tell you right now, you will not have any problems convincing me and John to go back. None. Zero.
Well, the problem is we're not going to experience that again to that level.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll have to just catch it right.
Maybe push it back a few weeks
but
because we were early.
Even if that's true, like if we were able to get there a little bit later, but like even if we cut in half the amount of fish that we caught, it'd still be an awesome trip.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
part of what made the trip
insane.
awesome, especially compared to the locals that saw what we were doing, was that we were about a month early.
yeah.
So what we caught wasn't uncommon. It's when we caught what we caught was uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all killed it. When did y'all go again? March?
March.
April?
April.
It was May. It was May.
May.
Yeah. It was right before summer. It was like the middle of May.
Yeah.
The middle week.
And everybody was like, you need to come back in June, July, August.
So I got the information because I told him because we wanted to go. We knew that the bullseye was more June or July, like when the run gets better, or I think June.
Yeah, it was June. They kept
When-
saying June, July,
yeah.
but then it was also more combat fishing. They said that's when more people show
Well,
up.
and it's more expensive, like way more expensive. To book a place to stay and all that, like everything that we looked at, because we were gonna go then, but like everything was literally like double. Right?
Oh, well, I'm good with May again then.
Dang, yeah. So,
Right.
so that's why I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
May is perfect.
I know, like
May
May
was
sounds
actually really
I'm
nice.
a little
yeah,
busy
the
in
weather's
June and
nice.
July.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect.
But I talked to John Skinner. He's a famous surf fisherman, and he's from not really. I don't know where he lives. New Jersey, New York, whatever. But he's real familiar with Northeast fishing, and so I was able to communicate with him through email, and he said to go either around the new moon or full moon in May, and he was like, "That's going to be your best chance." And so that's why we went that week, because I think it was the full moon or whatever, and he was. I mean, I don't know that we would have had the success that we had I not listened to him and been like, okay, that's when we need to
Maybe not. I just know you said, hey, do you want to go on these dates? And I was like, yeah.
go. Yeah.
I mean,
Don't have to ask me twice.
I'm in.
It's just so cool when you go on a trip and you have that experience, because you don't expect much. Like I would have made a video with way less. It's just because when you travel, there's that element of like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing, and then we didn't. But like we just like stumbled across everything.
It kind of was. I mean, I had one of our customers. He lives up there, Jeff. Jeff, I can't remember his last name, but his name, Jeff.
Jeff Bezos? Yeah.
Yeah,
we're tight with him?
We're pretty tight. I mean, we hang out. We just don't tell anybody about it.
If he wants to invest, we got this tackle store.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll call him right now.
Oh,
He
sweet.
won't know who I am, but yeah.
See if he'll get on the podcast.
But no, I mean, going up there, some of my most epic fishing trips have actually been with you around.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we've had some pretty insane times.
I mean, you even came into my backyard, and we had one of the most epic weeks of fishing.
that was
I mean, we
good.
caught stuff you don't normally catch
Yeah.
that time of year.
Yeah. Well, when I
I need
go
to come up there.
when I go on a fishing trip like that, especially like when it's something that I'm planning, something I've always wanted to do, I get pretty intense about it. Like I'm like, okay, we're here to fish. We're gonna make it happen. Some of the stuff we do with you guys, like South Florida, or whatever, I'm way less concerned about it, because it's like I know I'm gonna get those opportunities.
Yeah.
Like
Not as important.
no, it's
what I
not. It's not that. I mean, you're not. But like that's not what I was getting at. That's another story. But I know I'll get to go to South Florida.
Throwing shade over here.
We go like 3 or 4 times a year. It feels
Yeah.
like South Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, but how many times have I been to Cape Cod or Outer Banks? Once.
Yeah.
So like, and when I'm doing something like that, I'm like, I'm gonna freaking
We're doing it.
capitalize on this opportunity.
No, I don't fish that way. I mean, and that's my backyard. I mean, I go there. It's not that uncommon for me to obviously go to the Outer Banks. It's our backyard, but I have tried fishing as intense as it was that week with you there. Still wasn't as successful.
Yeah. It is hard.
That was, and I tell you what, anybody that's listening and fishing with you and you guys have absolutely no idea how much goes into these guys making content. Like how much work you guys do is absolutely incredible.
Brad just spent like 18 million hours on the beach to make a video.
No, I mean, dead serious. I mean, fishing
Literally
with you.
22.
Yeah, 22 hours.
Yeah, I think I've fished with you 4 or 5 times in unique situations now, and just watching how early we get up in the morning and
Every day.
every day. Yeah, there was no day off. It's and then just seeing what you do, and then seeing how long we had to fish to see the 13 to 15, 17-minute video that comes after, and it's like, dude, we fished for hours, broke for lunch, and then went and did it again.
Right.
Twice a day.
I know. I just finished editing that video. It was 22 hours to make a 22-minute video.
And see, I think a lot of people don't, and I get it all the time. It's like, I can't believe you guys go down there and you hang out with all these guys, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but they're like, man, it must be nice to do this. And I tell everybody, I'm like, all right, you think it's so cool to do what they're doing? I said, go for it, try it, get a GoPro, try it once.
We've had some comments recently.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that.
No,
Sure. And they're right. Anybody can.
Yeah, well,
you totally can. Go for it, man.
You can.
Let's see it.
I've had people come after me and they're like, well, why don't you do your own video? And I was like, because I know what goes into this stuff. Haven't seen it firsthand. I'm like, I'll stick to what I'm good at. And that's just designing.
We don't claim to be good at it. We just do it.
Yeah. Well,
Put in the work.
That's right.
It's a lot of hours out there.
That's worth it.
And we're not complaining. And we always have to preface that, like, we're not complaining. We chose this path.
Yeah.
And obviously what we get to do is amazing. I mean,
it's incredible.
We get to fish and do this kind of crap. But like at the same time, anything that you attach money to or your livelihood, there's pressure and stress and all of that comes along with it. And when we go and we fish for 22 hours and don't get a video, you just wasted 22 hours. That, I mean, obviously, especially now, there's like a gazillion other things that we could be doing with our time that could be beneficial that you've just sacrificed for 22 hours of nothing, which happens a lot, especially this time of year. And it's frustrating. It's mentally draining and challenging. And it's just hard. It's a cycle that's very difficult. And we were talking to somebody the other day. We mentioned it to Nikki. We were like, oh, yeah, because, and I get it. We were like, oh, yeah, we had to fish really hard down in South Florida to get those videos. We were supposed to do something else for Beach Bum Outdoors. Like we were supposed to get a picture, and like we just had to go to the beach and take a picture, which sounded really easy to do. But my excuse was, well, unfortunately, the fishing was so hard. Like we didn't get a chance to go to the beach because we weren't fishing the beach. We were fishing like all these backwaters and stuff because the beach sucked. Like we couldn't fish the beach, and so I was like, we didn't get a chance to go because we weren't even anywhere close, and it took a very long time every day to get the videos that we were trying to get. And we were fishing really hard, and she's like, oh, you had to fish so hard. I'm like, I know that sounds bad, but
we were on the struggle bus.
It is our job. Like, and we did have a blast. Like that was
very fun.
Like I really enjoyed that trip. Like it was just fun going out on the Everglades. I mean, we had a great time and it was fun, but it was long days that we did not expect either. Like we were hoping to get down there and like, okay, we can knock this out. This is gonna be pretty easy. But it wasn't. And fishing usually isn't. Like aside from Cape Cod, like fishing is usually not easy. Like you usually
takes a lot of effort.
Even if fishing is good, you have to put in a lot of effort and time. Just like the mullet run. Like most incredible day by anybody's standards that fishes the mullet run that we got to experience. But if you weren't out there hustling and working, you still weren't going to catch no fish. You know what I mean? Like, and we didn't, like, we had a great day, but I caught 3 snook.
Yeah, I caught 2.
You caught 2, which that's amazing. That's a great day. But how long do we have to fish to get those fish?
All day.
Exactly. And we had a walk / run. What,
miles.
Like 10, 12 miles?
Yeah.
Down the beach chasing those fish. So like
tough, man.
That's fishing. It's always hard. It's fun, but it's
not
I love
easy.
It.
Wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Nah.
It's easier than tile work.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tile work's just so like, I mean, you got guaranteed, like, I go to work and I know I'm going to make money because I'm going to do the work or whatever. But
right.
So you don't have that side of it to where you go to work and you might not make any money. But like physically, like tile, I mean, it's a lot.
But would you? So physically, it's harder.
Yes.
Mentally, probably not though.
No. Once you like know what you're doing, it's
Is it kind of just a monotonous task? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
most
obviously,
of the
you got to
time.
learn how to do it. But like, once you know what you're doing, like, you don't really have to.
most of the time.
It's
yeah.
not a lot of like
Are we talking about the fishing or the tile?
tile.
Okay. All right. I got lost in there somewhere.
Yeah, but every now like because everything's so trendy, and so like everybody ends up doing the same tile. Like I go do a bathroom, and
So it's
everyone wants the
pretty easy.
exact same thing. So it's just
Okay.
like repetitive, like doing the same tile. But like you get the jobs that's like super creative, and they want all this crazy designs and different
Yeah.
stuff, which is very difficult. And that takes a lot of thinking and a lot of math, and
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So that can get mentally draining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddly enough, that's what helped fund Ninja Tackle was cleaning tile.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I did for a corporate company for a lot of years. Was they taught me how to develop businesses within their business.
Right.
And the last one was industrial cleaning for tile and carpet. And
Nice.
so, yeah,
A lot of grout cleaning.
lots of grout cleaning, recoloring grout.
Yeah, I would get those calls. I'm like, yep, I don't do that.
That's a big day.
It's not my job. No
That was
thanks.
when you would say you need to call Matt.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And
They're
that's
like
what
grout
funded it.
doctors. They have
Yeah.
grout doctors over there.
Yeah. There was definitely somebody that was a grout doctor, but they weren't competition.
Yeah.
Nobody was better than us.
Yeah.
No.
You should start one.
We
Start another one.
were so good, they sold our division, and I lost my job.
Awesome.
But no,
Thus
that-
was born Ninja Tackle.
No, actually, that's kind of what led to, instead of working just Ninja Tackle and then Corporate 500 at the same time, so putting in easily 100 hours a week, and I had no complaints, no regrets. I mean, I'd get off work. I loved what I did at work, and I loved what I did when I came home and I was making rigs or designing something fishing related. But finally, it just got to a point where Ninja Tackle was growing so much that it was getting to a point where it was, pick one or the other. And, corporate America or the higher power himself, he just kind of picked it for me. And he says, no,
Worked out all right.
yeah, this you need to give this a run. And so here we are.
That's awesome.
I was going to say, I just celebrated January 8th was my last official day in corporate America after 20 years at one company.
So your 1 year anniversary. Oh,
1 year anniversary.
that's nice, man. It's a good feeling.
It is. It's weird. I still wake up feeling like I'm doing something wrong or I'm not.
Right, yeah, like
I-
because you feel unemployed.
yeah, like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and I don't
What am I
have to.
doing? It is like a weird feeling of like I can literally do whatever I want whenever I want. Like nothing's holding you down.
It is. I talk to my wife and I tell her what's going on with you guys in the store and how I feel like I think I really need to come down here and I want to deliver the product myself. And she's like, well, then that's exactly what you need to do. And I'm like, well, where do I sign up to take time off? Like,
yeah. Who do I clear this
don't
with?
have to.
Yeah. No, I've been doing that for so long. Because even when I sold insurance, I was still like my own thing. I mean, it sucked way more than what I do now. But like I've just been doing my own thing for so long. I'm so unemployable at this point. Like if I had to ever ask anybody's permission for anything, I'd be like, what? I have to do what?
Yeah.
What?
You
I know, I
tell
mean,
me
yeah.
what I can and can't do.
What do you
Like,
mean
even
I
when
can't
I-
go down here?
Even when I had the tile business, like I worked for myself, I could make my own schedule. But once you start a job, now like the homeowner's my boss.
You got a
like,
boss,
Like
yeah.
I still have
Right.
responsibilities
Sure.
and things I have to show up for. I mean, of course, there's days you're like, oh, my back hurts. I'm gonna go play some golf.
It only hurts laying tile, not playing golf.
The golf
Yeah,
swing
it's
stretches
it's
it out.
therapeutic.
Yeah, it's like what do you call the that thing.
What?
Perfect.
Wherever you just went.
Oh, chiropractor.
Chiropractor, yeah.
Oh,
Golf swings.
They
like
love golfers.
Chiropractic.
Yeah.
golf is horrible for you.
Oh, I know.
Is it?
That's what I was actually
your back, yeah.
But I used to play a lot of golf. I also went to a chiropractor like twice a week, and he told me he was like, golf is like literally the worst thing for your body. Like the swing is like so harsh on your back.
Really?
It's like really you should be doing equal amounts of swings the other way
Yeah.
to like help even things out because you're just swinging so hard one way all the time. It's just like torquing your back so hard.
Makes sense.
So
It's weird because golf is like low impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a contact sport, but
Yeah, I mean,
that
you don't
make-
have
that makes
anybody
sense.
coming out of the stands and just spearhead tackle.
right. I mean,
Good job.
unless it's Billy Madison.
Yeah.
oh man,
Happy Gilmore. Sorry. I get
Yeah,
those 2
whatever.
keys.
So I
You know
know, I know what
it's-
you
It
meant.
still
know what I
works.
mean. You know
It
what I
still
mean.
works. Yeah, absolutely.
We need to play some golf. You play golf?
I actually grew up playing golf.
Yeah?
My grandfather was a big influence in my life with playing golf, tennis, things that you don't normally think of, but baseball and all that good stuff. But played golf since I think I was probably about 5 or 6.
When was the last time you played?
It's been over a year, and there's a golf course right around the corner from Frisky Fens, and we've passed it a couple times, and we're like, man, we should just go play some golf.
Yeah,
Like,
we've
go
been
play.
talking about it. It's coming up on like good weather, springtime. We definitely need to go hit it up. I'm terrible at it. I just enjoy the experience of being out on a golf course and enjoying the day.
Well, I was gonna say, believe it or not, golf is kind of what led me to having some of that rabbit hole of developing fishing rods. Knowing what I was reading was because back in high school, I worked for a pro shop and custom built golf clubs.
So there's correlations between golf clubs and fishing rods.
Same materials.
No, okay. I mean that makes sense.
Same materials.
I
Like if
see
you're
that.
using graphite golf clubs,
Yeah.
they're
You
just
know-
different lengths and widths and all that stuff.
when I would teach people trying to teach people how to cast, I would always ask them if they play golf because I mean there's some correlations in your golf swing and casting, especially surf casting, because you have to.
It's like an overhand golf swing.
Yeah, well, just,
So run that through me here real quick. How does this golf swing and a fishing swing correlate?
I would
Is
just
it-
like do you play golf? I mean, do you know how to like your strength? Do you know 100% or 70%, 50%? Like just understanding those different things. Like okay, you don't want to give it like when you're playing golf, you don't want to go swing at the ball 100%. Even if you want to hit it as far as it
Gotcha.
goes.
Okay,
Same thing
gotcha.
with casting. You don't want to get out there and just like freaking, try to slam the crap out of it. You need to back it down a little bit, and you're going to get the more distance. Let the rod do the work,
Okay,
not the club,
that is actually a key phrase.
or
in
not
golf.
not your arm. Same thing. Yeah, let the club do the work,
Let the club do the work.
not you. Yeah. So let the rod do the work. It's same correlations. Yeah.
A buddy of mine, he always has this one phrase. It's like let the club do club things. Let the rod do rod things. Make your equipment do the things it was meant to do.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Smart saying there.
Definitely.
Well,
Is it time for that glorious time that he doesn't know that's coming?
he's probably never made it this far in a podcast.
Nobody ever does. All right, bring in the donkey.
man.
Oh, sorry.
That's what that was in the hallway.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Here you go, Matt. Come on. This is nice. Yeah. Is this what I sound like for real? Yes, all the time. This is your real voice. Because when I'm on like an intercom, this is what I feel like I sound like. On an intercom? Yeah. When do you talk on an intercom? Do you work at Walmart? Like a Walmart. Yeah. Yeah. Attention. Clean up on the aisle now, please. I mean, you've never done a false call at a Walmart? We should do that for a clickbaiters video. But if you try to talk real deep, you sound like a little boy. Yeah. Try to talk deep in the squeaky voice. I don't know if I can. Try to talk real deep. Real deep like boy.
Ninja tactical. Ninja tackle. Ninja tactical. Gonna tickle you. Oh man. Matt, it was awesome having you on the podcast today. We loved it. Oh, it's like very nice. Just stuff happens. It's weird. It gets really weird in here. Is it supposed to tickle? Sorry. That was me. Hey, time out.
We do have the whole, we do have bummy sticks and
There
and
is
ninja rods on the
Yeah.
on the website.
So
Yep.
I want
which
to
we
know.
didn't talk about it. We're
Do
such
you
idiots.
guys have any idea how many y'all have sold since
70.
Monday? Have you really sold? No, seriously, because I've actually had people sending me text messages and screenshots of them completing a checkout on your website.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the number. We probably sold 10 or so. I mean, we have, and yeah,
I mean, it's only been up for like not even 24 hours.
Yeah. And I know I didn't watch Brant's video yesterday. I know he said that we had stuff or something. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he said ninja rods or bummy sticks or what.
But
we haven't really even pushed it other than I did a Facebook Live and we of course posted on Facebook, but we haven't in your video that you're posting. I don't think you talked
crap
about
corner.
You're promoting the crap corner.
You put the daggers or the bummy sticks in the crap corner.
Yes.
Perfect.
We're gonna give them away.
$15. Pick
Can
up
I
your,
buy them back?
Yeah. No, but we do have all the ninja rods as of now. Now.
By the time Matt edits this and posts it, it's probably gonna be sold out.
Yeah.
It'll be like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I'm pretty behind on all of this, which we did film a podcast that I don't even know if I'm going to posting because I don't even remember what we talked about. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. I don't know if it'll be relevant because I do want to post the one we just filmed like today or tomorrow.
I was gonna say that one was completely relevant. We talked about the website. You're talking about a different one.
Yes. There's one more though. I can't remember what we talked about.
Just save it for like later.
Yeah.
Post the last one next, then this one,
Yeah.
and then post
I don't think
that
it matters.
one, and
You
it'll
don't
be
care, do you? It doesn't have to be in chronological order.
Are we talking about
Nobody
Tyler fishing again?
We're so far behind on everything. We're just backing up. Anyway, so we got Ninja Tackle stuff on the website.
Yes,
Beach Bum
go
Outdoors.
buy it.
We got a link down below. Make sure you go check it out. All the things. Oh, well, hopefully, by the time you see this podcast, it's still there.
If
we don't know.
those are sold out,
But we got other rods. Yeah, we got other stuff. Okay. All right, now we'll end it. Oh, this is so good. No. There's like
Stuff going on everywhere. It's so confusing. No. Are you going to the Mardi Gras parade today? No, actually, we're going to try to go do some fishing. Fishing. Are you going to go fishing or catching? Yep. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. See y'all later. Peace.